Hey there, beautiful people. I'm Tracy Rigdon, and this is the Contrast Project Lounge podcast. In this episode, I'm going to be talking with Jacksonville's very own drip broker, Mr. Michael Armanno. We're going to be talking about bespoke tailored suits and threads. Are y'all ready for this? Let's go. Joining me now on the podcast is the drip broker from Jacksonville, Florida, Mr. Michael Armanno. My good friend, Michael, how are you doing?
I am doing very well. I'm trying to stay cool this summer. As you can tell, I do that very well. I look cool. I stay cool. I don't know very many people that dress the way that I do here in Florida, but I'm trying to change that. So here we go.
That's hard. That's hard to do in Florida because, as we say, it's moist.
It is, yeah, it is. It's extra moist around here, so you gotta, you gotta deal with that.
It's all good, brother. It's all good. Hey, I wanted to start out before we get into our topic about threads and all that. I want you to explain to my friends, fans, and followers here what it is bespoke. What is bespoke? What it is to be bespoke? What is Bespoke House? And how important Bespoke House is to the arts and creative community in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been in the game of fashion and bespoke clothing for over 10 years. So the term bespoke originated in the land of tailors, hundreds of years ago. It used to be the term bespeak, and it meant to speak for something. So when you went to your tailor 100 years ago, you would go pick out your fabric, and then they would pull 9 yards of that fabric to make a three-piece suit. That's where that term dress
Right.
with nines comes from. They take that 9 yards, and then it was bespoken for. It was then something that was going to become unique, crafted for an individual. So over time, that word bespoke, it literally means to speak for something. So it kind of has gotten diluted quite a bit over the years of fast fashion. It has come to mean custom, but honestly, it means something a lot more than that. Bespoke is something that is truly unique to an individual, and it's not just in the clothing world. You can have bespoke furniture, bespoke homes, bespoke cars, anything that is crafted with a high quality of craftsmanship, glass work, artwork, things like that. Those things are bespoke if they're made specifically for something, if they're made to speak for something. So actually, a lot of artists are bespoke artists or artisans. They may not even realize it, but that term is something that we latched on to because we really want to get the point out there that we are here to speak for something. And that's where Bespoke House comes in. Bespoke House is an artisan community, and we have a wide variety of diverse members. I'm a clothier, so obviously your bespoke clothing comes to mind, but also bespoke hand glass blown creations, functional art. We've even done collaborations for bespoke handcrafted glass blown buttons, for my clothing and things like that. But not only that, we also have craftsmen, we have artists, creators, digital creators, a lot of content creators and influencers. And our community is very vast, not only in the mediums that we cover in our memberships, but also the style of life. We have people from every walk of life, every age range, and all different backgrounds. And it allows us to have a really diverse community that gives us the opportunity to speak for something. So Bespoke House, aside from just a place, it's kind of become a community of sorts, and it's a grassroots media outlet. Very much like the Contrast Project. Your goal is to be able to get out there and to be able to spread the information about what's going on. That's kind of what we're here for from that artisan standpoint. And we're here to help support our artisans, to help support our local businesses and our event organizers. So that way, when people say there's nothing to do in Jacksonville, they're 100% wrong when they say that. They just don't know what's going on. So that's where Bespoke House comes in. We're trying to give people that opportunity to be able to get the word out about what they're doing, whether it's a new artwork, a new workshop, a class, a course, whatever. So that's kind of what we have here. We invite people to come out and experience and showcase their work and speak for something.
Absolutely. And it's a wonderful thing. I want to tell the people that are watching or listening right now, I have personally been to Bespoke House, and I find it to be a remarkable new thing in Northeast Florida, in Jacksonville. You've got so many different, like Michael was saying here, you've got so many different people there. You've got not only the painters and artists and creators of all kinds, but you've got people that are into gardening, people that are into food creation, Fist Pickle Glass. Those guys create some amazing stuff. I mean, it really is a hub of creators.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things that we enjoy about this is because it's so diverse. We have a garden club that meets every Sunday. We have different meetups, and we have Bespoken 4, which is like an open mic style event for one and all. There are a ton of different events. We're actually going to be hosting film festivals coming up. We're hosting immersive exhibits. Our goal is to be able to make the experience out of it. It's hard to get people out, especially at this time in the year. We're in the dead set of summer. It's the dog days of summer.
Oh, yeah.
So really, for us to be able to energize our community, get people excited about what's going on in the community, and being able to help support our artisans all along the way, local businesses and event organizers, that's huge for us, because we are all independent artists of our own. I'm a clothier. My business and my success is the own thing, so I have to focus on that. But with all the time and energy that I have outside of that, I'm trying to give back to the community, and all of our members do the same thing. So we're always looking for ways to help support each other, collaborate, create new things, or even challenge old ideas and concepts. You may think, oh, well, this is the only way to do something. But nowadays with technology, opportunity, resources, the sky's the limit on what we can create together. So this is a place where you can feel comfortable with, you don't have to keep a secret. You don't have to keep secrets here. You can just talk about your ideas freely. You can collaborate and expand on those thoughts, and we're here to support those endeavors. So it is nice because it's just a little safe haven that you can come spend some time at, and you don't have to worry about, my next big idea is going to get scooped by some tech billionaire. You're not working in that high-stress environment. We try to cater to the artisans and what their needs are. So the more diverse our membership is, the more offerings and resources that we're going to be able to provide, because we can lean on the specialty of our members. So I don't have to worry about, how do I offer the best this and that? All I have to do is curate the people, the services, and the products to be able to offer these fine things out in our community. And I just have to highlight the people who are already doing those things. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, Michael, let's move on and talk about the main topic. Well, you and I had discussed earlier, and we have in the private group for the developmental group for the podcast, talking about Threads, the Threads app by Instagram, Meta. And, as a clothing designer, a creator, a member of the artist community, basically, how do you envision Threads and creatives in terms of showcasing their work on connecting with their audience on Threads, the app?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we have a really great opportunity with Threads. Mainly, if you look at it from an artist standpoint, it literally is a blank canvas at this point, but it is a blank canvas with a built-in audience of millions and millions of people. And the beauty of Threads is that, for the most part, your following, you're really, really close followers. The people who are engaging, the people who are commenting, sharing your stuff, your actual supporters, they're going to follow you to Threads. And that's one of the biggest things, is because you may not have all of the followers and the numbers and, all the analytics and insights that you have on, your normal Facebook page, your Google, your Instagram. But what you're getting in Threads right now, because it's in such an early phase of its lifespan, you're getting a fine-tuned, honed-in audience of people who directly support you, okay? So with most of these media channels and digital outlets, we tend to cater, to these caricatures, if you will, right? My Instagram is a little more reserved, whereas my Facebook is a little more sassy, but I have to say, somewhat mildly inappropriate. You know, like I can't get too crazy on Facebook because I don't like that. I can get outlandish on Twitter, you know, uh, but the people who would follow me on Twitter may not be the same people who follow me on Facebook or Instagram or what have you. So then you get to
Right.
this position where you're basically splitting your own self into these different caricatures of yourself, you know, and you're kind of playing these
Right.
roles and these different things, you know. Imagine LinkedIn, you know. LinkedIn are executives, business professional, HR directors. These are people who make millions of dollars. They're professionals. They're not going to LinkedIn to be entertained. But if you're entertaining on LinkedIn, that's where you can capture some of that market share. So there are ways
Right.
that we can utilize threads in a way that is not only self-beneficial as an artist, as a small business person, as a creator, but you can actually cultivate an even more fine-tuned demographic who like you for you and your work. Not just like, oh, I saw their work, I liked the page on Facebook 10 years ago, I happen to still follow
Right.
it, but this is
Right.
a demographic that is literally so clued into you that as soon as you got threads, they got that invite and they were like, yeah, I'm definitely going to follow them, right? They have a brand new frontier, a brand new opportunity to cultivate what their feed looks like, and they chose you. So all of your followers, no matter how many you have on threads, they're actually going to be a more fine-tuned audience than most of these channels out now. And you can really cater to
Right.
that and cultivate something from that.
Right. Right. Yeah, I have personally said in many posts that I've made that I see enormous potential in threads. I know it's very similar to, maybe I've said this before. It seems kind of like if Instagram and Twitter had a baby. You know, it's got some of the features of both. But I really do think that it's got a lot of potential, and I know that a lot of people have said that, you know, since the newness has worn off, that Threads has dropped in its usership per week by about 50%. And honestly, that's to be expected. To me, that's to be expected. But you can still find great value in what they're trying to do, and I really do see a lot of potential in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that comes to one of those things when you're a business or an artist or an entrepreneur, consistency is key, consistency and maintaining these channels, right? So a lot of people are feeling burnout and they're actually not posting as much on Facebook or
Oh
Instagram, or, you
yeah,
know, they schedule a couple weeks worth and automate it through one of these apps or platforms and then forget about it. And it just kind
yeah,
of rolls
yeah.
over. So when you're not actively engaged yourself with that channel, you're not cultivating the type of feedback and engagement you want. You know,
Right,
when I
right,
purposefully go out with a reel in mind, right? I'm going to go and I'm going to shoot this reel and I'm engaged and I'm activated in creating this content and then I'm putting it out there. Those pieces perform far better because they can tell the viewer, your audience, they can tell when you're actually engaged in what you're doing. You know, if you're just putting out BS content to fill time, that's not going to help you. And that's what a lot of our branding has become. You know, so this is actually a renaissance in the digital age for you to cultivate something that is more unique. You know, and like being able to stay consistent on that is an excellent thing. If you're feeling burnout on these other apps, Threads is actually a really great outlet because it's less scary, right? Your whole market, your whole demographic, your whole audience, they're not there, right? To judge you, to talk about you or think about you some type of way. So that's less nerve wracking. And the user interface is actually very intriguing in how they designed it. And, you know, I feel like they
right.
definitely pulled a lot of this from the Twitter aspect, you know, as far as how it operates.
Sure,
But it's very
sure,
simple.
sure.
You know, colors are very comfortable. It's dark. It's pleasing. You know, there's not a whole lot of distraction and flashy this
Right,
and that. It's a very
right,
simple user face, which makes it a little easier to talk to. You know, so like if you're feeling some type of way or you're wanting to express yourself as a human being, it can be scary to do that on your big platforms. But if you can pop over to Threads
right,
and say, hey, real talk, you know, this is what we're feeling. I
right,
know a lot of you feel that way. What are your thoughts? You know, you can actually start a more personal conversation. You can actually start something that's going to engage you more, and your audience is going to feel for you, right? They're going to connect with you.
right,
You're going to be human, just like they're human, you know? So to give them that opportunity to see you not as, oh, I'm this the suit guy, you know, or I'm the guy over at Bespoke House, but like I'm actually just Michael, you know, I'm a human being underneath it all. You take all the hashtags of the different characters that I play for all the different brands and organizations and people that I hype up in the community. There's a person underneath there, and your audience wants to know that person. You know, so that's a really, really great opportunity for you to let loose a little bit and show a little bit more about how you're feeling, what your struggles are, what your resources are that you're looking for that you need. Because all it takes is one person to see what you need, and like there could be help out there, right, for whatever that is.
Yeah.
And the thing about Threads right now is that your audience, like we mentioned earlier, they're tied in, they're direct to you, they're interested in supporting you because of how they found you at this point. So your
Right.
market on Threads is
Right.
probably your most prime opportunity to engage people for a lifetime and earn clients that are going to stick with you and support you for a good long time. And you
Yeah,
have
and
to
I
understand that I was going to say
yeah,
that
go ahead.
meta is huge, right? Threads isn't
Hmm.
going anywhere, right? So it doesn't make sense,
No,
you
no.
know, even if you got on, it's whatever. Like they have the money to bankroll this, whether they are successful or not, it doesn't matter. So let's take advantage of it and let's cultivate what the thread is going to look like. You know, as artists, we can all collectively decide that okay, the creative class is going to speak on Threads. Like that's going to be our platform. That's where we're going to have the conversations, and we're going to be real with it. So then you can bring the creative class together and then give them a forum, much like what we're trying to do at Bespoke House, you know, but like let's use this channel that Zuckerberg has built up for us, you know, whether they stole the algorithm and the code from Twitter or not. Who cares? It's two billionaires going at it, but like we're all out here and we're the people that make them all that
Right.
money. So we're the
Right.
content creators and they need us and they want us to make more content. So if we're going to make more content, let's not just give them what they want. Let's take advantage of the opportunity and get what we need out of it. So what do we need Threads to be? You know, what type of things and conversations
Right.
do we need to have on
Right.
Threads? I think we're actually seeing the results of a lot of that with the Actors Guild strike and the Writers Guild strike. The
Oh yeah.
conversation is
Yeah.
booming on Threads because a lot of the creators and influencers are on Threads.
Right. Right. And one of the big things I want to emphasize too is that while on Threads currently, you see an uptick in the number of people that are doing this no Democrat left, lower than whatever. I'll follow you, follow me, all that stuff. And 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 I'll be honest with you, I will follow a lot of people that follow me. I get that, okay? But this follow me, follow you thing, it does get irritating. That's on everywhere. That's on Facebook, Instagram, and now it's infiltrated over on Threads. Yeah, and when I see those threads on Threads that are just completely political, that they're just pounding the anti-Trump message, which which honestly I'm an anti-Trumper, but honestly I get tired of seeing those things every single goddamn day, and I think that maybe people misunderstand what the algorithm is doing when you continue to like for like on that shit, because quite honestly it goes back years. Instagram will tell you if you start following people just to get followers, you're going to follow into a negative algorithm.
Yeah, for sure. And that came with a quickness too. You know, it didn't take but a week into it, and you start getting these bot accounts and
it
follows and this and that. Now, one thing
it took one it
one thing
took
I do
one
appreciate,
day.
yeah, it's no time at all, and that's the thing with new technology. It's all going to follow you. So what I have liked about Threads is that you can't, as far as I know, I dug a little bit, but I can't see who other people are following, which I think is fine. And I think they tested that with Instagram, where they were trying to, it would show you how many likes you got, maybe, but it
Yeah.
didn't show you who they were and that type of
Yeah.
stuff. And like, I like that because I don't. If there's one place I don't want to follow everyone, it's Threads. Because that's like I'm trying to cultivate it as a safe haven for my voice, and so far I've used Twitter in my life so far to be chaotic, right? Because that's what Twitter is. It's the wild wild west. You know, so when I have all these crazy outlandish thoughts where I'm like, man, people just won't understand my sense of irony or the irreverence of the situation, you know, that's where it goes to Twitter, you know. So
Yeah.
now I'm having a similar moment with Threads, and I'm looking at it like, okay, so maybe I could just be real about how I'm feeling because it's a lot easier for me to type it into a blank box that's black and dark versus like going on a live stream and like, hey, y'all doing the thing again, you know? So it's given me an opportunity
Yeah.
to be able to really put the ideas out there and like, hey, man, we're all struggling right now, and everything I'm trying to do is just to try to help other people, you know? So like, I'm
Right.
hoping these type of things catch on because if I can gain from it, then certainly it will work for someone else out there. But I think there's been a lot of success with the creative class moving into this new frontier and being able to control the conversation, especially when it comes down to what we're, you know, battling with right now, and it's getting paid. You know, so Facebook is doing the exact same thing with this Threads app. You
Right.
know,
Right.
they're going to make money because we're there. Okay, so we
Right.
control
Right.
everything. So if the app
Right.
is not
Yeah.
entertaining, it's because we're not there to entertain. So if they want us on the app, then they need
Yeah.
to be able to figure out how to pay us. You know?
Well, I tell people all the time, this whole like for like and follow for follow thing, forget that shit. People need to engage with each other. Engagement is the bottom line, and and I still maintain my Twitter accounts. I've got several, and mainly not just to troll, which I do, but I actually follow a lot. I follow a lot of fantastic journalists on Twitter. A lot of great writers and journalists are still on Twitter, and some of them are migrating over to Threads, and you can pick them up in different locations. But the fact of the matter is, there's still some great people lingering on over there. So I'm not giving up my Twitter account until they go belly up.
Yeah, honestly, I don't foresee myself moving off of any apps. If anything, it's more apps, you know,
Nah.
especially for us entrepreneurs and artists. Being everywhere is important. They literally
Yeah.
have companies that do this for you. You know, like if you don't want to have to manage it all and
Yeah.
you can pay
Right.
for all that. What the Bespoke House is trying to do is bring those independent journalists and artists and creatives together and give you the resources to do it on your own, or if you want to be one of the hands off and just be like the dialed in creator, then you could just pay our team to do that because we're cultivating the producers to be able to do that. And I think that's one thing
Yeah.
that the artists and the creative class has really been missing because a lot of the creators I know are so good at what they do, but they don't know how to talk about themselves. They don't know how to sell themselves. They don't know how to repurpose the original content that they've created to make more revenue hand over fist, right? So a lot of times they miss out on that opportunity. And I have to be honest, the issue with that is that most of those people are probably neurodivergent, you know, so they're on the spectrum in some way, shape, or form, or have some kind of like personality disorder, and they don't have the health care to be able to manage all that, mitigate these issues, right? So that's one of the things is like when I see people talking about politics and all this stuff, I always dial it back to the real issue, and it has nothing to do with the politics because it's blah 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 over this and that. It's the core issue. Like, what are we actually talking about here? It's health.
Right.
Are the people healthy?
Right.
You know, like, are we taking care of our people? So, like, if people are burned out on your social media app, and you're like, all right, the way to cure that is to launch another social media app. Well, I think you might have missed the picture about what we actually need from these apps. We're not getting the community we need, but we have an opportunity that they've already developed and built. You know, they spend all the money to do it. So let's just hone in and
Yeah.
take advantage of these platforms and use
Yeah.
them for the way that we need them used, not for the way that they want
Right.
us to use it. You know, one of the best
Right.
examples of this is with Kick.com. So this is a new live streaming app, and they're backed by an online gambling company of some kind. You want this? So this So they're backed by an online gambling company. It's called Kick.com, and they pay 95% of the subscription fee to the creators. So for every $5 subscriber you have per month, you get $4.95. And they're backed by an online like gambling company, so you know they got the means to be able to keep this thing going. But they are very creator friendly, And we're seeing a lot of people jump off of Twitch, which has for a long time been the top
Oh
dog
yeah.
in that arena for live streaming, especially for gamers and things like that. And Kick has basically started to take over on that because now Twitch is actually making it exclusive. You know, if you're on Twitch and they catch you streaming on another platform, you won't get your revenues. So they're trying to make it exclusive, and that's just not how humans like things. We like freedom, we like choice. You know, that's kind of how our whole country was founded, to be able to give us
Right.
these opportunities. So people are getting off of these old platforms and they're getting on these new platforms. So with this
Right.
opportunity we
Right.
have with Threads, I think it's the perfect time to reclaim it for what we need. So that's exciting. You know, I'm definitely going to continue using it. I encourage anyone to jump out there, at least to have a void to shout into. You know, like because if you're burned out on social media and you're seeing, you're going through your feed and you're doom scrolling, you're seeing all these things that are happening, and you don't actually do anything yourself. You know, like stop. That's not healthy. You know, go be a creator. Create more than you consume. And that's kind of what I'm trying to get people to do is like, yo, even I have to do this. I have to live stream more. You know, I got to get in front of the camera. I got to talk to people. I got to go out and about and I got to get involved in the world because we just went through this weird time frame where we were locked inside, you know, and then everybody was weird, even when you were outside and for a while there. And like, we're still kind of weird. So we're just trying to get back into the social aspect of being human.
Right.
Why not use
Right.
the social media platform to help us reconnect versus it being what it has been and just like a mindless entertainment. So I forget what's
Right.
going on
Right.
around me. You know, there's actually a lot of cool stuff that's happening now and again, and more so now than it has been in the past few years. So I think we have a great opportunity to take advantage of the conversation and move it in a
Right.
direction that we want to have. You know, Hollywood
Right.
right now is trying to give if they take over the AI, imagine this: you turn on Netflix and you tell it what you want to watch, right? And you're like, oh, I want to watch a funny movie with Bill Murray set in Cancun. You know, it can whip up a little thing and AI feeds you a thing, but that's just recycled information, and there's no real story or creativity to it. And it very well could be entertaining, but that's all it is entertaining. So it's just like basically numbing your brain. You know, like you're not getting
Right. Right. Right.
anything real out of it. You know, you're just forgetting what the world is like. You know, we've seen this in Pixar movies. You know, like it's not that hard for us to
I
figure out.
know.
So I think it's important to be able to say, no, you actually need the creators, and if anyone needs replaced with AI, it's CEOs and executives and data analysts, and like there's so many like tactical, just like plug and play jobs that AI is actually way better suited for. And AI itself has even admitted that it's not great at creative gigs. You know, like you truly need the human aspect for this. So, apologies.
I have
Anyway, yeah.
I have long I've long been using generative AI, and I see it as a working tool. It can be abused. I know that there are currently issues in Hollywood where people are being sued. Chat GPT and the owners of that are being sued by some of the actors. It can be abused, but I see it as a tool, and it can be used as a tool without plagiarizing anyone's material. Now, one thing I do want to ask you, Michael, considering the vibrant artist community in Jacksonville, let's get back to the subject of Jacksonville. Uh, how do you think Threads? We're talking about the app again. How do you think that can facilitate local communications and collaborations amongst artists and creatives? You know, fostering something more supportive, and maybe getting people to crawl out from underneath their shell. If you know, in so many words.
Yeah, so that's an interesting question because the challenge with Threads right now is that there's really no collective voice or way to organize particular groups. You know, so I guess we would have it's the same old game, right? You have to pick
Right.
something that people are going to follow in a hashtag format. That's still the technology we're using. It's 10 plus years old.
Right.
You know, we're just calculating keywords at this point.
Right.
So it's tricky in those type of formats, whereas Facebook has actually really found a lot of success with their groups. right? Like a lot of success with groups because you're
Yes.
basically giving people a platform with a number of different ways to contribute content, and they can categorize themselves and secure themselves and moderate their own communities, very much like Reddit. But Reddit is a little more of that Wild West of a style
Yeah.
forum. You know, there's not as much
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, oversight, I guess. Borrow your lighter.
Right.
But yeah, so it's interesting. So to get people on a local level to do that, it really has to be a grassroots movement. So it has to be literally, like a community of people, actual human beings that get together and do things locally to get people to say, hey, look, we're having this conversation on Threads. So how do you get in front of a bunch of people like that, right? So this is a great example
Right.
that Bespoke House is used for the Hot Dew Ball Summer. So we're doing a big sweepstakes, and we started July 1st, and there's a $10,000 bespoke prize package, right? So it's going to have a full styling from Kalypso Couture, my brand, a live glass blowing demo and
Yeah.
live glass work that comes from that, live art, all this stuff, right? It's a huge package. So the idea is it's a big sweepstake, it's a giveaway, and you can buy a membership and you can get entries, or you can find these little ice cream cones. So we found a bunch of tiny ice cream cones. They're like handful size, tiny little ice cream cones. And what we're doing is we're actually going to local businesses, art galleries, festivals. We're going and engaging in the community, and we're taking these ice cream cones and we're hiding them, right? So we'll just leave them there. And they have a QR code on the bottom, and it's a complimentary entry. It's a free membership for a month, 20 knots here at Bespoke House, and it comes with 2 entries. So there's no entry to play. You just find the ice cream cones
Awesome.
by getting
Awesome.
engaged with cities in your city, right? That's how we're engaging the city, and we're driving them to Bespoke House website so that you can watch our live stream, so that you can get involved in these events that we do, funeral parties, all this and that. This is a way that not only can we draw attention to ourselves as a business and a cooperative and a community, the creative class, but also we can support our community directly by literally just going out there and sharing, the opportunity. So basically what we've done is we've partnered up with a bunch of local businesses, event organizers, things like that. People that support what we're doing. The middle of the summer right now is hard for everyone. Business is slow. No one's going outside. Everyone's staying in the air conditioning, right? We've been out here 30 minutes. I'm outside, dog. I'm wearing a suit. Okay, I'm out here sweating it this summer, the drip broker, and we're doing it for you. Because what we're going to do is we're going to these events and we're hiding the ice cream cones, and it's a big fun game. Gets people excited. We get to go spend money with local businesses. So with these endeavors, we're going to be doing like cash mobs. We're going to be going out there. So say, for example, we have ice cream social coming up. We're going to be dropping some details about that. But we're going to go meet up at a local ice cream joint, and we're going to hide our little ice cream cones. And then not only that, but we're going to encourage all of our people that are going to come join us that day to bring a $20 bill and then spend that $20 with that local business. We're going to have artisan vendors. We're going to have a community. We're going to have little performances, stuff like that. So the idea is that we're trying to get our community engaged in the slowest and hardest time for our city, right? Most of the Midwestern
Yeah.
states and the cold states, they do this in the wintertime, right? They struggle in the winter because everyone stays at home. It's cold. No one's going outside. We don't have that. We struggle here in the summertime. And while most, companies and a lot of stuff, like we get tourist business, and that's like our saving grace here in Florida, that we have tourists that come here. They don't know how hot it gets. They just come out here and sweat to death, and then we send them back home, whatever. But yeah, I mean, this is a
Right.
way that we're getting our community activated. So you could utilize a very similar technique to be able to engage your community. So not even here in just Jacksonville, but beyond. If you're trying to get people connected, you got to find a way to connect to people, right? That's the first and foremost thing. If you want people to pay attention to what you're doing, you have to pay attention to what everyone else is doing, because that's how you
Yes.
really support a community, right? We don't really have this
Right.
competitive mindset here. I would happily invite other clothiers and other designers and people that you would think are like conflicting. I would invite them happily to come check this place out because they aren't my competition. There's enough bread for everyone. We can all eat out here. 1.5 million people in just Jacksonville proper, not to mention all the way around the first coast. And we have like 2,000 people a day moving in to the Northeast Florida area. This is a opportunity for young business entrepreneurs, people who may have worked for corporate all their lives.
I'd like to thank all my friends, fans, and followers on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. All of you. And those of you who are not already following us, please like, share, comment. And on the YouTube channel, like, share, comment, and smash the subscribe button so that you get all the new episodes. Don't forget to ring that bell. You get notifications. And listen, once again, I want to thank each and every single one of you. Your support means the world to me, and I certainly do appreciate it. Again, thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, in my closing thoughts, I just want to back up for a second and talk for just a minute about Bespoke House and what Michael Armanno is doing over there. If you haven't heard of Bespoke House and you're in the Northeast Florida area, I highly recommend you look it up. It is a artisan community in and of itself. It's a wonderful facility where artists and creators get together on a regular basis, and Michael is really doing a fantastic job there. Also, I'd like to invite you all to join us over on Threads, yet another social media outlet. I know. And the newness is worn off, and we'll be talking about it quite a bit in upcoming episodes because I do think that it is something that's going to make its mark in social media. Well, like I say at the end of every episode, always remember, take care of yourselves and each other. Until next time, peace.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. My name is Michael Armanno. I'm the Drip Broker here for the Jack's Local Radio Show, and you are tuning into the Drip Report. I have some amazing artisans here today. CC and Rhythm are traveling glass blowers, and they are based out of Ohio, but I guess you could say they're actually based wherever they are now because you are on the road quite a bit, aren't you?
Yes, we are.
Been on the road the past month.
Yeah, so you love the travel. I like it. You guys actually have your own rig. You guys are traveling around, and you're stopping by tons of glass blowing shops and festivals. Like, tell me a little bit more about your journey throughout.
Of course. So we started a little over a month ago. We left Ohio and we headed up to Pennsylvania, where we stopped at a couple different friends' studios and shops and collaborated on some really cool pieces. We headed down to Asheville, North Carolina, where we attended a banjo seminar, a banjo and karma seminar, which was one of the biggest glass events or seminars that we could have probably gone to, correct?
Yeah, I'd say banjo is probably one of the best glass blowers in the industry right now. It was definitely a really cool seminar.
So once we finished that, we headed down here, and this is our second time to be a guest and experience the Bespoke House before. So we were super grateful to be here.
Yeah, we're actually very happy you stopped by this time around. The first time they came around, we had just got into the property, so they actually saw this place long before many of you have. And not only did they come through and do some collaborative work in our glass studio. But now they're back for more, and they're going to be staying with us for a little bit. So I wanted to get the opportunity to sit down and talk a little bit more about the different things that you do, because you guys have been basically every time you come through, I come in and these other glass blowers that I work with, they're like, man, I look at these pieces. They're always showing me all these different pieces, and they're like, look at all this cool stuff. And it's wild. It's hard for me to wrap my head around. But you were mentioning banjo. That's a name that even I know, and I'm not in the glass world at all. So that's a great opportunity, it sounds like. What are some of the other opportunities that you guys have gotten into? Is there anything you're looking forward to or aspire to get involved with along the journey here?
This year we have the Michigan Glass Project coming up. That's in June. That's like a big, it's in Detroit, and all these glass artists from all around the world, and they all donate all these pieces, and then everything gets silent auctioned off, and all the proceeds go to Detroit art schools. So that's a big one that we're doing this year. She actually got invited to blow glass there, and then we'll have a booth.
We also are leaving here in about a month, and we will be going to Mulberry Mountain in Arkansas, where we'll be being live glass performers for some really big bands that include like the Floozies, Big Gigantic.
Backwoods Music Festival. It's a String Cheese Incident, Pigeons playing ping pong. Yeah, there's a bunch of good artists out there.
That's fantastic. So you guys, it sounds like you have a lot of cool stuff coming up. Tell me a little bit more about what you would like to see out of your glass blowing skills. Is there anyone you're looking forward to meeting, or any particular studios you're looking to stop by and maybe work with some other artists?
So I guess the biggest thing that I want to take with my glass career is combining glass with like the idea of global healing for us as a community of artists, not just glass artists. So I just want to focus on being able to put my love and my energy into my art, and then that being able to be spread to other people that are maybe going through a hard time. And then my energy of that love can be spread into them and get them through hard times. So my goal overall in all the years that continue, hopefully, in my glass career is to spread kindness and positivity.
Got me beat on that one. My goal is to, I always want to continue to grow. I just never stop growing, learn new shit every day, collab with everyone possible.
Yeah, I think that's definitely been one of the most exciting parts about having you both come through, is just seeing all the creative work that has come together with our other members here in the glass studio, but then also the things that come from it from beyond that. You know, you actually had mentioned a project that you were doing where some of the proceeds were going to a good cause. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
So I guess I could let you guys know too. I should have said earlier, my name is CC Kitty Glass on Instagram, Facebook, anywhere you go to look. And I make cats out of glass. So I started 2 winters ago, and when I made my first cat pendant, I was like, I'm going to donate $5 of every single cat pendant to shelters. And we're about 2 years in now, right? And I've raised a little under $2,000 for shelters. I have actually paid for 2 cats' surgeries in full. So there's
2 little kitties' lives.
Very nice.
There's 2 little cats' lives. So that's definitely what keeps me going, and is like where I talk about putting your love into your art. I've always loved cats, so being able to combine that, give back, and make my art, it's like a beautiful blessing.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a very exciting thing that I love to see artisans get involved with. I know we do quite a bit of different things here. We try to give back to local organizations. We try to give people amenities and opportunities to be able to expand on their offerings, you know? So it's been really great to have you out here. Next time you come through Bespoke House, is there anything that you're excited to see? Do you want to see anything new next time you come on?
Honestly, I do want to take a second and say how impressed and honored I am to be a guest at this house. From seeing it months ago to see where it's came now, and for them to provide such a welcoming and heartwarming and comfortable place for us to create, which is so important. The vibes must be right to create art. So I want to thank you for this.
Appreciate that.
And if anybody is ever interested in creating down here, please hit me up, or or them, and I'll give you all the info I can, or send you to them, because it's a great opportunity for any artist.
Excellent. Yeah, we definitely we value spontaneous collaboration, so it's always good to have guests involved that aren't from the First Coast, because it gives us an opportunity to see the world through different perspective, through a different lens. Even as a clothier, as a creator, all the things you do inspire me to be able to challenge myself and to collaborate and connect with other creators. So how can folks out there connect with you? What are the best ways to get to you? Do you have a website, social media channels? Where can we find you?
Yeah, if you look up rhythmglassart.com, or you can search
Glass.com.
and that's our website. And we both have an Instagram, Rhythm Glass, and CC Kitty Glass, Facebook.
All the good social media stuff.
Yeah.
Excellent. And obviously, if you want and you can't find them, you can always find us here at Bespoke House. We'll get you connected. And the next time you're in town, we'd love to have some other folks come out. Maybe we'll do a live glass blowing experience while they're here in town. That would be super great. We can go ahead and start planning some things like that
throughout April. So hopefully we
fantastic.
can plan something out.
Excellent. Yeah. So we will definitely work on that. And if you're catching the show after the fact, don't forget to connect with these amazing artisans here through Bespoke House, through their own social channels and all their websites. We want to thank you very much for coming through. Thank you for watching the Drip Report through the Jack's Local Radio Show. I'm your host, Michael Armanno, the Drip Broker. We'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you. Much love.
From the day of our inception, our mission has been to restore the art form of handcrafted clothing and bring it to the masses. Custom clothing isn't just for the big wigs anymore. You can look sharp while staying well within your budget. One of the greatest benefits we deliver is that everything you see fits you perfectly. Each garment is specifically handcrafted just for you. Backed by our 8 generations of bespoke tailoring, we have taken the outdated process of driving to a retail store and selecting from the limited, off-the-rack options. We have analyzed every aspect of both getting dressed and shopping for clothes. And we're happy to say we have created a better and more modern method. One of our happy customers. He is ecstatic with the difference in how his custom-tailored suit fits compared to the off-the-rack suits in his wardrobe. We are striving to bring that same confidence and smile to you. We are passionate about what our family does and are excited to begin creating custom clothing made just for you.
brothers pass it to me. Man, I love weed, so I like tree. Don't wanna let the bong rip, don't care about a thorn tree. Man, I love weed, so I got it. If you want it, come and get it. I'm the one who love to flip it. Man, I love weed, in my country. Don't like stay too fucking with it. Here I come and I'ma hit it.
Get to thinking about shit, man. Sometimes I get to thinking about shit, man. Sometimes I get to thinking about shit, dick. Sometimes I get to thinking, fuck this.
Oh, Lord, where we go, nowhere to roam, somewhere below. Wait, man, I don't know if I'll find a home. Don't want to die alone.
So here I lay propped up in my state. They call me Big Papa, cause I'm another one who gave in the marijuana. And I'm not moving on, brain is cooking like a sauna. Man, I love weed, and I want weed. Don't want it, pass it to me. All my brothers pass it to me. Man, I love weed, so I like tree. Don't wanna let the bong rip, don't care about a thorn tree. Man, I love weed, so I got it. If you want it, come and get it. I'm the one who love to flip it. Man, I love weed, in my country. Don't like stay too fucking with it. Here I come and I'ma hit it.
Welcome everyone to The Drip Report. I'm your host, Michael Armanno, the drip broker and principal designer of Kalypso Couture. Today we're stepping into the world of bespoke tailoring, where artistry meets craftsmanship and every stitch tells a story. Bespoke tailoring is more than just custom clothing. It's an art form that has been refined over centuries. It's about creating garments that fit like a second skin, exuding elegance and personality. But what makes bespoke tailoring so special? To explore this, I want to take you on a journey behind the seams. To kick things off, let's discuss what bespoke tailoring truly means. It's a term that often gets thrown around, but it's essential to understand its significance. Bespoke, derived from the word bespeak, means to speak for something. And that's precisely what we do in the bespoke world. We speak for you through the art of tailoring. Now, let's delve into the rich history of bespoke tailoring. This art form dates back to the 17th century in Europe, when master tailors crafted clothing for the elite. These tailors were highly skilled artisans, often creating pieces that would become heirlooms, passed down through generations. Fast forward to today, and bespoke tailoring is experiencing a renaissance. It's no longer limited to the elite. It's about giving everyone the opportunity to wear clothing that's truly unique. In my work at Kalypso Couture and as a member of the Bespoke House artisan community, I've had the privilege of witnessing this revival firsthand. Now, let's talk about what makes bespoke tailoring so special. It begins with a one-on-one relationship between the client and the designer. It's a collaborative process, a journey where we take your ideas, your personality, and your preferences and turn them into a tangible work of art. A bespoke suit, for example, isn't just about measurements and fabric choices. It's about understanding your lifestyle, your tastes, and even your aspirations. It's about crafting a piece that embodies your essence, making you look and feel your best. I'm often asked, why bespoke? Isn't off-the-rack clothing more convenient? Well, there's no denying that convenience, but when it comes to clothing, convenience doesn't always equate to quality and style. With bespoke tailoring, you have a garment that's uniquely yours, designed to fit your body's nuances perfectly. The experience of wearing a bespoke suit is unlike any other. It's a feeling of confidence, of knowing that what you're wearing is a true reflection of your personality and style. That, my friends, is the essence of bespoke. But let's not forget the artistry involved in bespoke tailoring. It's not just about measurements and patterns. It's about the skill of the tailor's hands. Every cut, every stitch, and every detail are carefully crafted to create a masterpiece. It's a collaborative effort, and your input is invaluable in achieving the perfect fit and style. As you embark on this bespoke journey, remember that patience is key. Crafting a bespoke garment is a meticulous process that takes time, but the end result is well worth it. When you put on that perfectly tailored suit or dress shirt, you'll understand why bespoke tailoring is an art form. Before we wrap up today's episode, I want to leave you with a styling tip. When it comes to a well-tailored suit, simplicity often reigns supreme. Opt for classic colors and patterns that can be dressed up or down. A well-fitted white shirt and a timeless tie can elevate your look effortlessly. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the artistry of bespoke tailoring. Remember that bespoke is more than just clothing. It's a statement, an expression of your unique style. Stay tuned for more episodes of The Drip Report, where we'll continue to delve into the world of artisan craftsmanship and style. If you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover in future episodes, feel free to reach out. Until next time, keep it bespoke.
And we're back, and joining me right now is local entrepreneur, all-around good egg, Michael Armanno.
I don't know about all that.
Well, how you doing, Michael?
I'm good. They call me the haberdasher of Jacks, which I'm really just trying to get that going. So
right.
Haberdasher Jacks, because I do so many different things. So it's hard to be like, yeah, I'm this and that. But
you just got so much hustle going on right now.
Yeah, well, right now and last year and the year before, and since pretty much I stepped out of my parents' house, I've been like doing everything I possibly can. Mm-hmm. And honestly, a lot of that started when I was a kid too, because I would like pick trash out of the heavy trash day and like rebuild bicycles and sell them. I remember I used to rent CDs at the library and burn them onto blank discs and like sell them at school, because that's what you did in the 90s, and if you weren't doing that, then what's the point? That's how entrepreneurship starts. On LimeWire, you get a couple family viruses on the computer and you start a business, start slinging music.
Doing one thing. Well, back in my day, you're talking about burning discs. We used to burn the mixtapes.
Exactly.
The cassettes, and everybody was doing it.
Yeah.
Everybody was doing it.
Well, I mean, I used to DJ too, and that was another fun thing is like watching. I actually started on CDJs, so like not tapes back then, but we were still rocking like these huge pieces of equipment. And I see DJs nowadays that come in with like their cell phone and they're mixing on like apps, and I'm like, but what happened to the big turntables and headphones? And now you got like AirPods, and everything's getting scaled back, and
absolutely,
and a lot of that stuff I like. I've got my AirPods, I've got the iWatch and all that, but like as much as I love this iWatch, I would still rather wear a manual, like, a fun, unique clock on my arm, but the convenience of, especially when you're an entrepreneur, you have busy days and, you got alerts going off, and it's nice to just be able to glance and see what's going on.
Sure.
Plus, I spend so much time working, I barely get to see my kids, so I have a rotating album of my children, so that way I feel like, a little closer to home throughout the day.
Right.
So it works out okay.
So you're haberdasher, your clothier line, you're waiting on the city to come around so you can get your storefront open.
Jacksonville. So I moved here about 4 years ago. They say it's easier here, and I have found that to be the case in some aspects and not so much in others. But we are. So I've been a traveling salesman, just like the old plays. You think of that. I legitimately just kind of traveled around the country. After college, I worked for a company called Dish Crawl, and we did entertainment events, like bar crawls for restaurants, right? Mm-hmm. So you go to all these different restaurants, and I went to school for media production. So I was meeting chefs all over the country and having all this amazing food and recording video content. I met my tailor in college, and we started a clothing company because she's the 8th generation master tailor in her family. So it's been passed down since the 1800s from French and Italian clothiers when they colonized Vietnam. They came in and they taught her family how to do the crafting of these suits and stuff. So I've been doing all these different entrepreneurial things, and it always fell back to clothing. So I kind of got away with it a little bit, away from it from my college, a couple years after college, because I was doing the food stuff, and I still I could still design a little bit here and there. But after that, I got into some brick and mortar businesses. I opened a club in Indiana, and then a restaurant and a music venue, and I was doing all kinds of things. I had a production studio, all this big stuff, and I was doing my clothing on the DL. So I was doing a couple dozen suits a year, and you don't make a living, making a couple designs out of the year. So you do all kinds of other stuff. So I've always been known as this go-getter and, doing what I can and selling what I can. And after nearly 10 years of, wanting to really, truly just do my clothing and design the clothing I want to do, I had an opportunity. I've got friends and family that have, after all these years, seen how much we've grown, and they've backed me and supported me, and I've came here 4 years ago and really built a fantastic network, have really great support. And that's one of the things where they say it's easier here, that's what they're talking about. Right. It's not so much the red tape and the bureaucracy. That's all there. That's everywhere you go, literally all the places. What is easier here is coming in and getting community support. When I moved here, I had no problem finding people who, even if they didn't wear a suit at all ever, because we're in Florida, and let's be honest, a lot of people don't wear suits, and that's fine. But they would still be like, that's so cool. I really like that. I don't know anyone that does that, and hey, I have this friend who loves to dress up and you should meet them. And I've never had so many people come to me and be like, you should talk to XYZ because of whatever reason. And so that was really cool, because I've gone to all these cities across the country, and then I came here and it's got that southern hospitality. Right. Everybody's very kind and nice to each other, and you got bad eggs once in a while, but that's fine. Sometimes you just don't jive with certain people, and that's cool. So you just part ways and do what you can to build your community otherwise. Sometimes that's just how it is. But I like the community action I see, and it's the cool thing about Jacksonville is that it's so big and spread out that you have these little pockets of culture everywhere, right? You got Riverside, Murray Hill, Springfield, you got Mandarin, you got all these different aspects of the city. You can go out to the beaches one day, and you can go out and camp in the wilderness the next. You can be riding in an urban landscape downtown, and then you can be going through a historic district along the riverfront, There's so much different cultural, and there's so many different people that it helps us build something that's what I consider a true all-American city. Everything you could possibly want to do here, it's here. And you may have to search for it to find it, because Jacksonville is too spread out. And that's the hard thing, because unless you're looking for it, sometimes you'll miss it.
And a lot of the times, things that are available to do in Jacksonville and Duval County at large, a lot of those things are free.
There is a lot of free stuff.
A lot of free stuff.
I really didn't expect all that, because I've gone to major cities and you pretty much pay for everything, Right. No matter what, whether it's parking or whatever. But there is a lot of free events, and especially for families. I'm active with MoCA and the museums. I have the museum memberships. The zoo has a lot of great events going on. And then even just the businesses like retail stores, local boutiques and stuff, they're hosting events, and that's another thing that you really don't see in a lot of places. You hear about pop-up shops and stuff like that, but when I first got started, you wouldn't believe the different types of businesses that offered to have me, you know, where I could come in and bring a trunk full of my clothing and designs. I've done it at I've literally done consultations at bars and hair salons and restaurants and like just all these different local businesses, because they know what it's like to get these businesses started, and they saw me, you know, wanting to build my name, and they gave me this opportunity to be here 4 years later, and now I'm opening my first brick and mortar, like, it's a designer brand, you know. I'm not a designer, you know. I don't think of myself like Ralph Lauren or Calvin Klein, but it is something that I love, and I love what it does to people, you know. Like when people find the perfect fit or the right outfit, whether it's special events, weddings, prom, whatever, even if it's just the stuff you wear daily, if it makes you feel good, then I've done my job. You know, and it's just like Miss Mackey said when she came in, you come and you leave as friends, and that's exactly what it should be. You should come in here, and I want to help guide you through this process where a lot of people think that what I do is like this elite thing, you know, because when you think about a custom suit, you think of like, oh gosh, it must be thousands of dollars, and it's not, you know. The only reason it's thousands of dollars is because of Milan and Paris, you know. You have these big designer labels, and people don't understand fashion, you know. It's like, it's not about fashion, it's not about what's fashionable, it's about style, and that's individual style. You know, it's not about what people tell you is popular, what you should be wearing, it's about what you want to wear and what makes you feel good. I wear a 3-piece suit in the middle of summer in Florida. It doesn't make sense. I'm opening a brick and mortar location in the middle of a pandemic. It doesn't make sense, but it feels good. It makes me feel good. So when people come in and they find the perfect dress, or they customize the perfect handcrafted suit, they put it on and it makes them feel good, I've done my job. There you know, so that's what I want to do. I want to bring that feeling to Jacksonville, because that's how I felt when I moved here. You know, people came in, I felt great about what I was doing, and it made me push further and want to do more, because people like gave me their support, and they didn't know me, you know. I came in and like I am friends with everybody on Facebook, you know, and it's people are like, oh, how do you meet all these people, how do you know all these people? And I really don't. They know me, and they support me because they find interest in what I'm doing, and like every little bit of support I get, I'm getting the opportunity to talk to these people and figure out what they're offering, what they're doing, and partner, you know. And that's one of the most exciting things about what we're doing with the store, and like the whole reason I want to do the store is because realistically I could go and sell custom suits anywhere, at home and office. I've been doing it for 10 years. I don't necessarily need a store. What I need the store for is to feature other local creators. So we're working with people who design crowns, you know, like custom crowns. Masks, accessories, other designers, whether it's streetwear or, you know, formal or just like a summer dress. We're working with other creators in Jacksonville and surrounding areas to really like help build that community, because that's exactly what I felt when I came here, was a sense of community, and they supported me, and now it's my opportunity to where I've gained from that. I've been able to grow into a place where I can even do this, which is crazy to me.
Well, and it's great. It's great that you're working with, you know, local creators and so forth, and even in hanging up art, for that matter. We do it right here. Some of our friends have done these. Yeah,
and that's important.
And supporting the local artists, having them in the shop, even crafts people for that matter. You know, Wolf and Cub, there's a lot of, you might say like consignment stuff in there. But it turns your brick and mortar into a unique boutique.
Yeah, and it's not so much about just coming to shop. I just want people to come in and experience it, you know? And this all, for me, this comes from my previous brick and mortar businesses. You know, I owned a club and a music venue, and I did the same thing. You know, we're featuring local artists and musicians and talent, and we're putting the artwork on the walls. So over the past 10 years, I've been doing all these things that really are only going to amplify the clothing. And that's the part that I like, right? But when I am able to give the thing that I'm passionate about, and I can help other people build what they're passionate about, then that's the whole reason we're doing this, you know? Because like, let's be honest, I work at a car dealership 50 hours a week. I legitimately have a full-time job. I literally couldn't do this without my friends and family, my fiance, and my community, my support, you know, without podcasts like this. Like, this is I get 4 days off a month, And this is my afternoon on my day off because I see so much value in sitting here and talking about what you're doing and what Damien's doing, what Miss Mackie and her family are doing.
Right.
Like, that's what is important to me. I will spend every moment that I have available doing this part of it just so I can run that store and give people the same opportunity.
Right.
You know, if they can make just enough money to break away from their daily grind and do something they're passionate about, and I can have any part of that, I'm all for it. That's what I'm here for.
Awesome. So glad you could make it out today. I'm
absolutely.
glad you could take time out of your busy schedule.
For sure. I mean, otherwise, I'm at Cog and Chevy selling cars. If you need a car, come and see me, or clothes, or catering. I'm sure I'll have to come back, because I do all kinds of stuff, and that's where I want to focus here, because like we're here to highlight you, just like this podcast. What you're doing is super crucial to the community, because that's what this community did for me, right? So I'm going to take this opportunity to share everything that I've seen here today going forward on the Contrast project. We're going to be using this as a huge community springboard. I'm super happy to be a part of it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming out, and you're welcome anytime.
Fantastic.
Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Michael Armanno, your Duval drip broker. I want to invite you into the Kalypso Couture showroom here at Bespoke House. I want to thank you all for tuning in. This is the Drip Report from the Jack's Local Radio Show, and I want to thank you for coming in, watching the video. If you've been out here, fantastic. If you haven't, I want to give you an exclusive opportunity to talk a little bit more about what you do, but first I want to tell you a little bit about what I do. As the drip broker, my bread and butter is in bespoke wardrobes. I create sustainable, lifelong, long-lasting garments for folks who make them feel confident. It makes them empowered, and I find the perfect fit for you. And we use sustainable fabrics and tailoring techniques from the old world, and we use new world technology to create something fantastic. So the reason I want to invite you all out here to Bespoke House and to join me here in the Kalypso Couture showroom is to join me and sit down on the Drip Report with the Jack's Local Radio Show. We're going to be interviewing fine artisans from across the First Coast to learn a little bit more about their aspirations, their goals, how they got here, and how we as a community can support the Duval and Jacksonville local creative scene. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. This is the Kalypso Couture showroom, and thank you for tuning in to the Drip Report with the Jacksonville Local Radio Show.
Designer of Kalypso Couture, Michael Armanno, is here with us today, and we're all about to set sail on our bespoke journey. Hey guys, how are you? But let's jump right to it. What is a bespoke journey? What does that mean?
Yeah, for sure. So the word bespoke comes from the original word bespoken, which means to speak for something. So 100 years ago when we bought clothing, you would walk into your local tailor shop, select the fabric you want, and then that fabric was then bespoken for. Wow. So it means that it was claimed it was going to be unique, it was going to be crafted specifically for a client.
What? So clever. So what can customers expect from Kalypso Couture in their summer collection?
Absolutely. So the beauty of what we do is we have a wide range of offerings because each garment is actually made for the unique client. So we have a number of fabrics to choose from. We focus on sustainability. We do things the old world way, but we use new world technology and styling.
All right.
We don't consider ourselves much of a fashion brand because fashion is where you create something, you try to get people to buy it, right?
Sure.
We don't do that. We create things that are very unique. So what you see here, these are a few of my clients, very great clients.
Who are these gentlemen?
So this is Geddes and Goodwin Shinokin. They are local realtors, so they know a thing or two about dressing with functionality and style. You have to capture the attention to get those homes sold, right?
Absolutely, yep.
So that's part of the process. So we have a couple different looks here, especially here in the summer. It gets hot, right? So
Yes,
people
it
always
does.
ask me, how do you stay cool in the summer? It must be so hot wearing suits, right? Well, some people are just too hot not to wear a suit, right? So that's where we come in, okay?
If you're that cool, you can wear a jacket in the summer, baby.
When you think about the sustainability factor of clothing, a lot of clothing nowadays is made with plastic, so it doesn't breathe very well, it doesn't hold up, and it ends up terrorizing the planet, right?
Absolutely.
We focus on sustainable garments, and when you talk about the fabric, you're talking about wool, right? 100% wool, light composition, breathable things. The inner construction is not glue. You know, they're not pressing your jacket together to make it quick and cheap. They're actually taking a horsehair cloth and they're creating an interior structure. So these garments are made to last a lifetime.
Wow.
That way you have your styling and then you can go on and create something new by adding new things to it. And that's kind of what you see in the range here. What I'm wearing is what you consider
dope,
a
is what
summer
you're wearing
suit,
today.
right? So this is natural coloring, summer suit, and then what you have here is more casual look, but you'll notice a lot of accessories, right? So that's how you can add your personal style to your ensemble, right?
A little bit more of a casual
Yeah,
kind of deal.
absolutely. Whether it's the shoes, the jewelry, or even the accessories, a handbag, you know, it makes it functional, and then you also look very comfortable and confident, right? And you have a little bit of something special in this. You just don't see fabric like that out there
really,
off
it's
the
beautiful.
rack.
It's
You know,
very
this is
cool.
something that we selected together. We said, all right, that's what's going to give us that personality. That's going to showcase you and your best, right? So that's what we specialize in. Now, Goodwin, he's wearing a little bit more of a formal look. So this is where if you have a very important business meeting, especially in the industry they're in, there are occasions where you're going to need to dress up.
That's right.
Right? So you can wear a suit off the rack and maybe it fits okay and maybe it's kind of your style, but it doesn't give you the confidence you need to be able to close the
It doesn't
sale,
fit
to
right
make the deal.
here, it doesn't fit right
Exactly.
there. You know, the shoulders might be too wide kind of thing.
Yeah, Goodwin is actually a great example of this because he has a lot of gains. So every time I make a new jacket, it gets a little bigger, right? So that's the beauty of shopping bespoke versus off the rack. Because if he's shopping off the rack, do you think we're going to find a jacket that fits?
No, probably
Look
not.
at this, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why we have to custom make each one. So we start with our pattern, we draft that pattern, and then we create